Welcome back to News Hour. This is Perspective, and as I alluded earlier, we're talking about the role of MCAs in devolution, and joining me on set is the Secretary General of County Assemblies Forum, Kipkirui Chepkwony. He's also an MCA. He'll tell us the MCA of what ward, but from Nandi County. Of course, when you talk about devolution and MCAs, they've had praises and also they've been castigated in equal measure. But first things first, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I was following up on your elections at the County Assemblies Forum, and you were elected the Secretary General. Perhaps you can shed a light what the County Assemblies Forum do, or what is their mandate?
All right. Thank you for hosting me, Njue, and good evening to viewers. I am the Secretary General of County Assemblies Forum, and like you rightly put, I am an MCA from Nandi County, representing the county, the ward of Tinderet Ward in Nandi County, in Tinderet Sub-County. And yes, elections of County Assemblies Forum were concluded barely 2 weeks ago, and County Assemblies Forum is an institution that brings together all the county assemblies in Kenya to say all the MCAs and speakers. This is an entity that brings together all of them for purposes of joint discussions and to be able to have a joint platform where they can be able to negotiate and champion the interests, the welfare of MCAs, and also in a way protect devolution, because in the constitution there is no institution that was put forth that is going to bring together all the MCAs. We only have the Council of Governors, and all these MCAs spread across the country, 2,000 plus of them. There was no creation of an entity that is going to bring them up. So in the wisdom of the first term MCAs and speakers in 2013, they thought of registering a society that is going to be able to give a platform for the joint discussion, to be able to even mirror best practices in one county assembly to the other, or even share on legislation that is of common interest. Like to say we have legislations that, I'll give an example of agricultural producing counties of this country, like the North Rift and South Rift. We have tea, and there is also tea on this side of central Kenya and parts of Meru. So we have such legislations that we can be able to copy paste to other county assemblies, which will be able to bring together a joint language that will be shared to bring up legislation. So this is the platform that we use as MCAs to even voice out serious concerns or interests that are touching on the country, so that we have a joint voice that we can be able to speak and say all the MCAs in this country are of this idea, or are of this thinking, or this is their position on this. So not necessarily only on our welfare, but also we have stakes in devolution and development of this country.
More or less like the Council of Governors, right?
Oh yeah, we would want to create it to be bigger than even the Council of Governors, because Council of Governors is only a house of 47 governors. This is a house of more than 2,000 legislators.
Indeed, and you encompass and you also champion for your rights as MCAs. What exactly is your role in devolution as enshrined in the Constitution? Because might be there's somebody who doesn't exactly know that some of the roles are for MCAs.
Thank you. First of all, MCAs are legislators like any other legislator. There is no difference between an MCA as a legislator and a parliamentarian, either as a senator or a member of parliament as a legislator. The only difference is our legislation is limited to the county that we represent. But the Senate and the National Assembly would legislate on matters national. So the roles of an MCA are in three forms. First, we legislate. We are able to come up with laws that are going to address the issues appertaining that county that are raised either from public participation or solely by the drive by the MCAs by virtue of their role. Secondly is representation. You have been sent there to represent the interests of your people. I have been sent to Nandi County Assembly to be able to represent the people of Tinderet Ward, who are more than 20,000 of them. On behalf of all of them, I have been given that task to be able to represent them in the County Assembly of Nandi. Then the biggest of the roles of an MCA is that of oversight. This is the sole mandate of the MCAs, to be able to oversight the executive in the county government, to be able to develop the budget, approve the budget which is developed by the executive, and be able to monitor and ensure the implementation of the same that cumulatively amounts to oversighting the executive.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And relationship between some county assemblies and the arm of the executive has been frosty in some counties, and there have been accusations that some county MCAs blackmail the executive in order for them perhaps to pass the legislation. What's your take on that?
Why is it not that the MCAs have been also, you're talking about the MCAs,
yes,
blackmailing
yes,
the governors? What about governors blackmailing MCAs? Because the stalemate that you will be able to see in the counties is solely by virtue of the interest. If an MCA is championing the interest of the 20,000 that are present in Tindred Ward, and the gridlock normally is around the budget making process, or around the budget making time or circle, where now the interests of the MCA, which is naturally the interest of the people it represents, more than 20,000, might not be in agreement with what the governor is interested in. I am interested in a spring in Tindred Ward, Olsigawit, which will cost about 4 million. The governor is not interested about that. He's interested about a mega project in the county headquarters. So that is where we'll differ, because I am championing for small, quite a number of projects because of how big my ward is, or because of the aspirations that the people of Tindred Ward have said. But the governor might be interested in otherwise. So that normally would be able to have gridlock. But I want to tell you this, that during my second term as an MCA, you would be able to appreciate the challenges that the county governments have come through. In the first cycle of devolution, it was normal to see county assemblies and the county executives go into gridlock. But look at the second cycle of devolution. Because more or less, everyone understands their role. The governor understands their role, and the MCAs understand their role. So is do the executive officers. They understand their role. So I don't think it is anything to really go by anymore that there are gridlocks or about the county government, both on the executive and the assembly. But it is democracy that is growing, an understanding of devolution that is working, and I think we are doing fairly well. That is why I am sure we have not been making news.
Okay, fine. But let's be very honest that the Auditor General successive report has pointed at counties and more or less MCAs having so many trips that are eating into the limited resources that we have.
Yeah, there are a few counties that have been mentioned by the Auditor General, but at the end of the day, the one question that we always ask is, it should not be how many trips have MCAs gone. It is, was there an allocation? Was there misappropriation of funds? If there was an allocation for that trip, was it well spent? Was the task that they were assigned to or that they were going for, or did they report back on the same? And has it been able to benefit the county government? Has it informed any policy direction or any legislation? It is not about going out, or it is not about that. It's about the value for money. The question you should be asking is value for money. Are we getting value for money? Yes, I've just told you. From the first cycle of devolution, there is more that we have learned that has informed the successes of the second cycle of devolution. And I am sure, even in the first cycle of devolution, nearly every county assembly was pointed fingers on. But look at what we are doing. So it is progress. And we are saying, like I repeat, it is the value for money that is the Kenyan citizen in Nandi County getting value for money. If Kipkirui Chepkwony today he takes a trip to Israel, when I come back, does the report or what I am reporting on, does it influence the position that I'm saying we have to be able to develop dairy industry in Nandi. Like now in Nandi County, I'll tell you, we are building a very big milk processing plant in Kabiet, and has been championed by our governor. And I will tell you, that did not happen because the governor is here. It's because there was a report by the officers from the county government who traveled out to Israel, and are able to come up and benchmark on best practices on milk production and value addition. So those are the things that we're asking. If MCAs travel,
there's value for money.
There's value for money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there is the budget making process, and I remember a host of MCAs together with the Council of Governors. We had a petition at the Supreme Court. Do you believe that there should be more, you should be having more duties when it comes, or more say when it comes to the bigger picture of the budget making and the division of revenue that lands in the counties?
You know, the biggest question that we ask ourselves is, even if you went today to Tindred Ward and asked the people of Tajasis, do they know anything about budget? They will tell you yes, they know, and they only know one budget, and that is the county government budget. They would know, the people of Tindred Ward or any ward in this country, across the country. The MCAs have really taken the public participation of budget making process to a notch higher, that even the villagers understand what the county is planning on. They will tell you Nandi County is getting approximately, say, 300 million for roads, and they know what is their portion of that 300 million. But go ask any Kenyan, even in the streets of Nairobi, ask any Kenyan how much money is appropriated for the Ministry of Health nationally. No one would answer you that question, because the budget making process of the national cake or the National Assembly has been restricted to boardrooms, where now the budget, the public participation is done in City Hall, is done in, they go to the nearest towns. They do only invites for the, so to speak, technocrats, and yet the common mwananchi down there, Chevichi, doesn't get to know what is being budgeted for. So for us, we are saying as county assemblies, we are keenly interested in unbundling the budget making process in the national. So that if we are giving Nandi County 6 billion, you are giving Kiambu County, say, 11 billion, the remainder of the money, which is a bigger chunk, how much money is being appropriated where and what for? Because as we are talking, we are given limited amount of money to budget for in the county government. But I will tell you this, if you go down to the counties, you'll be able to see that small amount of money that we've been given, what it has been able to impact on the development and of the society. Whereas we have billions, trillions of money left in the national, which you don't understand how it's going to be spent. Like you're talking about the issue of the case that is before the Supreme Court now. The question we're all asking ourselves is, where have we been to be able to reach here? Legislation, the law that we have, is that the National Assembly and the Senate are supposed to agree to be in concurrence with the Commission of Revenue Allocation recommendation. But we are realizing that it is only the Senate that are working closely with CRA. And the National Assembly, instead of listening to an independent commission called CRA, they would rather listen to Treasury, which Treasury is a department just like any other department in this country. So instead of, and you would hear the National Assembly quoting the executive, and Treasury has failed to understand it is a treasury for both the national government and the county government, but they rather side with national government at the expense of the county government. So there is a grey side of the law that really need to be addressed. What is our stake as devolution stakeholders, especially for the Senate? The Senate should be heard more on matters devolution funds, because we have sent the senators here to represent the counties and county governments. And so when they are pushing for more money, it is more money for the devolved units, not for any other role. And we are asking ourselves, the Constitution clearly has the functions that have been devolved. What are we still doing? First circle has gone. We are way into the second circle of devolution. And yet we still have functions that are meant for the county governments, which are still being implemented and allocated funds. at the national level. What are the what are the members of parliament doing about it? Because every other time you realize now there is talk that they want to bring back health. But question is, did they try to implement health as devolved as it is, so that we're able to say, fine, it has failed. Okay. But we keep devolving functions, but the resources are not following suit.
Indeed. Away from that, it's not a question of if there will be a referendum, it's a matter of when now. And the Punguza Mizigo Bill has found its way in county assemblies. Do you have one voice as a CAF, or other counties will debate and make their own decision?
Gradually, initially when that bill was brought to the assemblies, then there was a court case, and I can assure you one thing for sure, the MCAs across this country are going to perform their role, which is enshrined in law. Once that bill has come to the assemblies, which is provided for in the law, we are aware that we have timelines, but we are going to process those bills accordingly in every county assembly as required by law. Whether we have a joint position or not, as we speak, we are still in consultation, and we have assured this country that within the next 7 days, the county assemblies of this country, we are going to convene a meeting to be able to have a joint voice on the same. But every county assembly is going to process the bill procedurally as it should be. So there is procedure about it. So like you say, it is not about whether it is going to be there or not. It's about when. So about when, I think the issue of the Punguza Mzigo has begun.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I have to ask this because talking about the people you represent in Tinderet, how has the census exercise been there? We've seen some hurdles here and there as we wind up.
I can assure you the census process in Tinderet has been successful. I am sure you've not had any dogs being released on the enumerators or anyone declining to be counted, because for us as a people of Tinderet, which in Nandi County we declare ourselves as the marginalized in Nandi County, is because when you come to to Tinderet ward, we are way below the development. Our development is not yet up to bar, and so for us, we are feeling it is important that we get counted, so that tomorrow when resources are going to be allocated, and we are aware that population is a factor, then we should also get our allocation right. So for us in Tinderet and Nandi County at large, we have challenged our people to come out in large numbers and be able to be counted, because that count, every number counts to an extra coin for the county, and that is more development for us.
Indeed. Thank you so much for that perspective. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but that was the Secretary General of the County Assemblies Forum, Kipkirui Chepkwony, who is also MCA for Tinderet in Nandi County, giving us his own perspective on what exactly devolution is at the counties. Well, that wraps up perspective for this day, but we'll be right back with business. Alan Aoko is already on set. I'm Ben Njue. Thank you indeed for watching.